Hello guys. So today I will be reading Reddit family drama stories. Um, it's gonna be a voiceover of me playing Minecraft. So in the background will be this Minecraft gameplay that I had previously recorded. It was maybe like 30 minutes ago. And then I was dealing with this voice mod, figuring it out. So if this audio sounds better, I'm glad. And if it doesn't, I I don't know. It took me like maybe 40 minutes to figure this out. I watched a 32-minute tutorial on Voicemeeter. Um, I might just come to the conclusion that it's the mic itself as well, because one of them is super duper uber old, and then the other one is just the headset microphone that I'm using, which is what I'm currently using with Voicemeeter. So hopefully this sounds a little bit better, but nonetheless, let's get into r/family drama. I'm sorting it by news, so at least these are news stories and not by popularity or have already been, read. So, this one starts with the title being My cousin slept with my sister's fiance, and now my sister has memory loss. Our family is destroyed. So, let's get right into it. And as a PS on this first post, it says French is my first language. I had to use like an English translator. So if there's broken English in this, it's not only I can't read, but it's this person being a freaking Frenchie. But it's okay. So starts off saying, this has honestly been the worst week of my life, and I just need to get it off my chest. So, for some context, my sister 23 and our cousin 40 have always been super close. Even with the big age gap, they've been best friends for years. They travel together, go out, party, all of it. Nobody in the family ever questioned it all because, well, she's family. She wasn't some random friend, she was like a big sister. Both of them have been single for a long time, always talking about how hard it is to find someone real. A couple of years ago, my sister met this guy. Things got serious, they dated, got engaged, and even planned to sign a prenup because, well, who gets married after 1 year's dating? But at the end of the day, we were all happy for her. She deserved it. However, last Saturday, my cousin invited her out to a party. Nothing out of the ordinary as they go out all the time. We even prayed together before they left. Everything felt normal. Then, the nightmare started. A few hours later, we got a call. My sister had passed out and hit her head. She was rushed to the hospital and it had to call 911. In Canada, 911 asks a lot of questions, like what happened, where she was, and what led up to it. Her fiance, well, ex-fiance now, looked like he was about to throw up when we got to the hospital. When the police showed up, he totally panicked, and that's when he told me what really happened. He said he made a mistake. My sister walked in on him and our cousin. Yeah, that kind of mistake. I slapped him. I wanted to do more, but the cops got between us. Now, about my sister. She hit her head really hard. She doesn't remember anything from the day he proposed, maybe even more than that. The doctor said it's possible based on how hard she hit the back of her head, but when you talk to her, it's like she's not there. She forces smiles, avoids talking about what happened, and just feels off. Part of me thinks maybe she's pretending not to remember, not to lie, but to cope. She has depression and she struggled with it for years, and that guy helped her through a lot. I'm scared this is going to break her, but I'm also scared that she's the type of person who promises she's okay, then randomly disappears. She's done it before, cut everyone off, gone silent for weeks or even months. What if she does it again? What if I lose her for real this time? I don't even know how to end this post. I'm angry, heartbroken, confused, and terrified all at once. I just needed somewhere to let it out. Yo, that is fucked. I didn't know French people got it on like that. So first, ooh, yeah. At least it's, yeah, I don't know. The memory loss is like a common reaction to a concussion. Like, I suppose. suppose maybe that's helping her out in this case, but it's also like it sounds terrible because it's just a shell of a person that she once was. First top comment says, "It's terrible that it happened to your sister and tragic it involves your cousin. It does sound like coping, but could be she truly forgot. However, this doesn't mean you don't talk to her about it and make sure she's okay. I wouldn't immediately think your family is broken. It's a bump. But if your sister pulls away, as much as it sucks, you have to let her process how she needs to process. Continue to reach out. Just know it's not you if she is distant. My sister does the same distance thing. It hurts, but I had to learn to let her be." And that's very understandable. The distance is a big role in people's ability to cope and get over things that happen and what goes on in life. I'm very similar. If something happens to me, I mostly want to shut down, or I'll get really, oh, my model broke, but I'll shut down, or I don't want to talk, and I honestly relate to that. But eventually, there will be times where talking about it is more beneficial than in the immediate right after. Especially since it's very traumatizing with that sort of accident. I'm not sure though. Did he like push her? I'm like, what do you mean accident? So that's the only thing I'm like 50-50 on. Like they say accident, but she hit her head and has a terrible concussion. Interesting. Okay. This next one is from 16 hours ago. Am I a bitch for not letting my cousin bring her friend to our wedding? This will be interesting. Oh, there's some backstory as well. So, this happened on the date to my wedding. I found out my cousin, let's call her Betty, was planning to bring a friend, not her boyfriend, as a plus one to my wedding. Some backstory. Betty did something similar a few years ago at another wedding. She called at the bride and complained about not getting a plus one, saying she was broke and just wanted to have fun, even though she regularly goes on trips like 6 times a year. The bride told her there wasn't enough room, so she couldn't bring anyone. When it came to my wedding, I was already cautious. When I sent out the invitations, I addressed her specifically to her and her boyfriend. I did not give her a generic plus one for a reason. I wasn't interested in surprises. Then, a day before my wedding, someone let me know that her boyfriend wasn't coming and that she was planning to bring a friend instead, without even asking. She ended up getting mad at the person who told me because the plan was to just show up with this friend and not say anything. Oof, red flag number like 7 already. I, at that point, wouldn't even have invited her. At first, I was gonna let it go, but then I found out she had known for a while that her boyfriend wasn't coming and was still planning to bring someone else, without telling us or asking for permission. That's when she finally texted me asking if she could bring her friend. I respectfully told her no. I had explained that we were being strict with our guest list and only wanted people we personally knew at the wedding. I also told her that if someone who wasn't invited showed up, we'd have to ask them to leave. So, am I a bitch for saying no? To make matters worse, at the wedding, Betty went around talking about us, lying to guests about what actually happened, playing the victim, as if we were the unreasonable ones. It was frustrating and honestly pretty infuriating. At that point, if she's doing that during the wedding, I'd be like, you just gotta go. You gotta get the fuck out. Um, no, not being a bitch. That sounds like a terrible family member. Inconsiderate, rude, and just entitled. No. Top comment though says so. Let it go. Don't sweat the small stuff. And the other people say you're not a bitch. You specifically invited her boyfriend. He wasn't coming, and it doesn't mean she gets to bring someone random, which I totally agree with. I've only ever been to one wedding. My family's fairly old, but like, it's just inconsiderate. Like, at least ask. The least you could do is ask, but not even doing that is terrible. Alrighty. Let's find one. Ooh, it's just titled My Parents Are Divorcing. Ooh, okay, it's fairly long. My parents are divorcing from 2 days ago. This is gonna be really long. I genuinely apologize in advance. I don't really post on Reddit, but I need help. My F16 parents having trouble for a while. I think they mean she's female 16. I don't know if her parents are female and 16. I will hope it's her female and 16. He said, but only recently did something happen. My dad's been doing this for a very long time where he gets upset, leaves the house, doesn't reply to texts, and comes home late at night. He lost his job in January/February, I don't remember when exactly, and did what he always does. He came home around 9 to 10 p.m. Could have been later, but I honestly don't remember. Him and my mom didn't really talk about it. I do school online, so I sleep in kind of late. And a couple of days later, I got up and my mom left. She went to her father's ranch and she's been there since. She said a couple of times she's not coming back. At most, I see her twice a week, which is nowhere near enough for me. I'm really close for her, and me and my dad have never had a super great relationship. I won't get into the details. Damn it, I'm here for the details. Get into the details. But I don't love being only with him 6 days a week. I have 4 siblings, but only one still lives with me and my dad. He's around 26 and autistic, so he's living here until he's really ready to move out. He also stays upstairs in his room when he's not working, so I don't really hang out with him. I'm the youngest. My mom had me at 40, and all of my other siblings left the house when I was pretty young. I can't drive yet because my whole life has been on pause since my mom moved out. And honestly, I don't know what to do. I don't know what I should do. I don't want to move to the ranch with my mom. I love it there so much, but because I can't drive and the ranch is far from town, I want to be able to see my friends anywhere near as much as I can now. Just to make it worse, my dad's been texting younger women. I was in the back seat with him and my brother on the way home from a baseball game, and I could see some of his phone screen. It was a chat with someone who had sent him a picture and looked like a much younger girl, probably 25 at most. I didn't tell my mom because I didn't want to make everything worse, but a different day I was loading the washing machine. He told me he was going to go outside for a minute. The window to my laundry room is always open and faces the sidewalk of my house, so I decided to try and see what he was doing. He was on FaceTime with someone and just kind of walked back and forth on the sidewalk. He came back up to the porch, so I went into the dining room to see if I could hear anything, and I did. I didn't really understand what they were saying, but it was a girl's voice I didn't recognize. I ended up telling my mom, and she wasn't that bothered. I think that's when I realized things would never be the same. Today I went to the local fair with my friends. I texted my dad around 6:30 to 7 asking if he could come meet me at some point, or get me at some point. Since we were going on rides, I put my phone in my bag and I wasn't on it for a while. Right before we got on a ride, I noticed he was calling me, so I picked up and he immediately sounded pissed. He was yelling at me, saying that he was already there. He's blaming me. He showed up without me telling him I wanted him to yet. He didn't even try to check on me to see if I wanted to leave before he started driving. Like I said, I sent him the text asking if he'd be able to pick me up at some point, and he immediately replied, "Okay, I'll come get you now." I obviously didn't fucking respond because I was busy. On the phone, he said the second I got off the ride, I had to come out or I had to walk home. I'm probably biased, but I genuinely think he didn't need to be that upset. I'm very much a teenager, and I've done worse shit that he didn't care about nearly as much. He used to get mad at me a lot when I was a kid, and I honestly don't know why. When he was yelling over the phone, it put me right back to being 7 and scared. He's never hit me, and I don't think he would, but I still feel uncomfortable around him when he's angry. I texted my mom because it sent me into a panic attack, and she called me asking if I wanted her to come get me. When I was on the phone with her, he came into my room saying something about buying tubs. I had no fucking clue what he was saying. So when I said I didn't understand, he just went, "Do you want me to get you tubs so you can move in with your mom?" It really fucking upset me. I never said I wanted to. I don't know why it upset me so much. It's like he's just waiting for me to fucking leave, but I don't want to. I've told him so many fucking times, damn, she says the F word a lot, that I don't want to live out there full time, but he doesn't believe me. I remember when she first left and we were talking about it, he said something like, "I don't know, I guess I've just been a bad husband, a bad dad. I can't stop thinking about how he must have been treating my mom behind me and my siblings' backs." I don't really know how to go about it any further. Any advice is welcome. I apologize if this is confusing or written badly. Writing it all down just made me feel better. 0 comments. There's 0 comments on this. I'm gonna leave something. I say, do what would feel best. Going to your mom's isn't, or doesn't seem ideal in the current moment. Not being able to drive and all. But hey, does the ranch have extra room you can practice on? IMO, Your mom sounds like she would support you so much better, at least mentally, and that is important. Say dads get up to some weird shit. So said dads get up to some weird shit, so space seems right. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm glad our mom's doing better. I hope you do too. All love. Alrighty, I'll be nice enough. Okay, I guess my fucking Reddit name on this computer is Economy Raccoon. Oh, the next one after this is having a hard time forgiving my mom. Sick. Am I crazy for wanting space? Oh. Huh. This, I'm just looking for some more. Do. Am I the asshole for treating my aunt like a child? I want to know. Ooh, this one's like way longer than the last one. Holy shit. Am I the asshole for you treating my aunt like a child? This is from 16 days ago. It was from Am I the Asshole? And it got, Am I the Asshole? And then it's, quote, posted or whatever into FamilyDrama. So that's how I see it. So it starts off, Hello Reddit. I've never thought I'd be making one of these posts, but here we are. Please excuse the long post. Excused. I tend to over-explain in the essence of fairness, because every story has at least two sides, but other people who are involved are not here for us to have their sides of the story shared, so I will tell this as objectively as I can. I, 20F, live with my dad, 56M, in a two-bedroom apartment. It's a downstairs apartment, although it isn't small, it's also not big enough for more than just two people. Recently, my uncle, 54M, and his family, his children's mother, 39F, they are unmarried, but I call her auntie, so that is what I will be referring to as throughout this post. Their two kids, 10F and 14M, my uncle's daughter, and my uncle's other daughter, 7F, I think she's 7 but could be 8, came to stay with us for a month on vacation. Okay, so already this is aunt's uncle, two kids, and then his third kid. So 5 extra motherfuckers in this 2-bedroom house. I feel like it's already going to start off with, he made me give up my bed and now I have to cuddle and sleep with my dad. Anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself, so let's see. When they first arrived, I was setting myself to go up and out of state for a birthday party, so I wrote sticky notes and taped them around the house with instructions, including examples for the recycling, composting, and where all the cleaning supplies and trash bags were. They left to go out of state to my other uncle's house on the same day that they arrived here, so the sticky notes were a must, though they could have called me at any point if they had any questions about anything. I was out of the state for 5 days. I left on July 4th and came back the 9th. When I got back, the house was in one word, dirty. As soon as I opened the door, I immediately got the hit by the smell of sweat and musk. I'm a little sensitive to strong smells, and then I saw the state of the house. There were water bottles on the coffee table and under the couches, around 6 or 7 in total. The water bottles in my nightstands in the room, about 3. There were cups on the coffee table and the floor, 3. The dishes were piled up, though to be fair, the kids, 10 and 7F, were washing them when I entered the door. Yo, child labor, shout out! There was cereal and water on the floor. There was plastic stuff in the paper recycling and vice versa. The composting bag was sitting on the counter next to the kitchen sink, and yes, that's where it's supposed to be, though the bottom of the bag was soaked in water, which, in turn, soaked the counter under it. The floors were sticky, and the house smelled like a high school boys' locker room. I immediately got overwhelmed, so I changed out of the clothes I came back in, and then left the house to take my aunt, 10F and 7F, to go shopping. After we came back, my aunt left with a friend, and I was left at home with the kids, so I decided it was time for me to clean because I wouldn't have been able to sleep in that smell. It took me hours to fully sweep, mop, and sort the trash. After all of that, I sat the kids down and explained where the different types of trash goes, explaining to them that it's considered rude to keep bursting to my upstairs neighbors, who I'll be referring to as my roomies as here on, part of the house unannounced and uninvited, to keep the door to the house locked and telling them to keep the countertops dry. It is an unfinished wooden countertop, so mold is a very real possibility. Lord. Fast forward 3 days, and I was back to cleaning again. After that, I started to give reminders to everyone every so often, like please keep the countertops dry because if it stays wet, mold can grow and it's very expensive to get rid of it. Or please don't forget to put the water bottles in the trash. Or please keep the bathroom curtains closed so that the water can drain off and mold doesn't grow on it because that bathroom doesn't have a window. Mold can and will grow. I say this to everyone in the most conventional tone as possible. Fast forward a little more to July 15th, and we were all getting ready to leave. And then I walked into my room where my aunt and uncle were asleep. Long story. They were about to engage in the devil's tango on my bed. It's important to note that the lock on the particular bedroom door does not work, so it may appear locked, but it isn't. In that moment, it didn't register in my head that they were about to get intimate. I didn't have my glasses on, so all I saw was a bunch of fuzzy shapes. I get it. I just grabbed what I went in there for and leaving, and as everything clicked, I immediately felt myself getting sick because it's in my head common knowledge not to mingle juices on someone else's bed, is it not? Anyways, 14M began to say, y'all need to get ready and stop making macaroni and cheese. That's how he refers to the twisted tango. Yuck. Fucking 14 years old. Ew. I just kept saying, not on my bed, not on my bed. I was still in disbelief, so I kept repeating the words over about 5 to 7 times. And my aunt replied with, when you come to our house, you never thought of what you were sleeping on? Ooh. When you come to our house, you never thought of what you were sleeping on. What do you mean by that? Is there a guest bed for her to sleep on that's specifically the sex bed? What? 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 No. Which, in my opinion, is crazy to say because, yes, sometimes I have to sleep in their bed. Long story. But I mostly sleep on their daughter's bed. So she was saying that they have, so were they saying that they have unholy entanglements on the kids' bed? After that, they went and took showers and then we all left. Yuck. Fast forward again and we were back home. The same day, I told them, just so you know, the lock on that bedroom door does not work. And the next morning I went into my room and spoke to my uncle. I said, Uncle Blank, remember yesterday? He said, yes. And I said, don't ever let that happen again. I wanted to say more, but my brain blanked and that's all that came out. He said, I heard you yesterday. I'm sorry. And after this, I thought it was all over. They know not to engage in the forbidden fruit on my bed, and I have peace of mind now. I did make my dad buy me a mattress topper because I don't know if they did anything on my bed while I was out of state, and I'm not keen on laying on someone else's bodily fluids. A few days later, my aunt was in the kitchen cooking, and I saw that the back door was unlocked. The door is right next to the stove, and I hadn't said anything about keeping it locked for a couple of days or so. And I turned to her and I said, please don't forget to keep the door locked, which she ignored me. So I asked, did you hear me? She said, yes, I heard you. Ever since the other day you walked in on me and your uncle, I feel like you've been treating me like a child. Keep the door locked. Keep the bathroom blinds closed. Keep the counter dry. Turn the bathroom lights off when you're done. Do this or do that. I came here for vacation. It feels like you're treating me like a child, and I don't like that because whenever you come stay with us, I don't tell you anything, but since I've been here, you've been treating me like a child, and if I have to come back here and you're still living here, I won't be coming back. I feel like I should just pack my suitcases and go stay with my auntie until it's time for me to go back home because you don't tell your uncle the same thing. I responded with, yes, I understand that you're on vacation, yes, and I tell everyone the same thing about the doors in the bathroom. And I'm sorry I made you feel like a child, but I just want the door to stay closed because there's a girl that comes in to this house and tries to get in whenever she does, and she's crazy. The girl in question is my roomie's god sister, and yes, she is insane and tries to break in whenever she comes around. My aunt responds with, I feel like you're treating me like a child, so I just left it at that because it didn't seem like she was listening to me after she was done talking. This conversation, if it can even be called that, happened on July 21st. To me, her saying she doesn't tell me anything whenever I go to her house is, in my opinion, entirely unnecessary, because whenever I'm at their house, I do the dishes, I help sweep and clean their house, I also keep the room that I stay in as clean as possible for my clothes and bags. I help her do the laundry and fold it after it's done drying, and I babysit for free. I don't actually mind babysitting that much because I like hanging out with the kids, but the only thing that I don't do when I'm in her house is cook, simply because I don't know how to cook for other people. Understandable, she's 16. She's getting up to the age where, like, being able to learn that, being able to do these things, but it's also like, goddamn, chill out. is this is this somebody else's house and trying to be so entitled to it? The only other thing I want to know is this aunt like the sister-in-law to the dad? Because it just sounds like the dad and the daughter live together. Boom, that's fine. But is it the dad's brother or the dad's sister? Because if it's the dad's brother is the uncle, of course, that's how it works. Um, and she's just an entitled like sister-in-law, or if she's actually his sister and she's just an entitled ass sister and like is being a bitch, that could play out two different ways. But either way, like this entire like sense of entitlement's so fucked. Yuck. All right, there's still more. Everything seemed to be going okay after that day, and I was just cruising through the days. On the 23rd, I went on a little nature walk by myself. I needed that alone time, and everything seemed okay. Just about where I was going, and I even shared my smoothie with her. Then on the 26th, I took her, my uncle, the kids, 10F and 10N, to the museum. My aunt wanted to take the kids to the museum, so she asked me to ask my stepmom if I could get us some ticket, if she could get us some tickets. It's a really fun museum, I pinky promise. My stepmom, love her, got us the tickets for the free, and we were on our way. When we left the house that morning, everything seemed great. We were at the museum until 3 in the afternoon, and then we left, and everything seemed okay with my aunt. The next day, I woke up. I said good morning to her. No answer. So I thought maybe she didn't hear me. I just carried on with my day. Spoiler alert, she did hear me. She just didn't want to reply. It's been 4 days since that museum trip, and she's just been walking around the house ignoring my existence. Literally, I kept saying good morning, afternoon, night to her for 2 days after the museum trip, and she still hasn't responded to any of those greetings, so I stopped. I do find myself saying it on the reflex sometimes, and it is a bit startling every time, to be honest. So Reddit, I ask you, am I the asshole for treating my aunt like a child? No. I gotta say no. Just plain up no. Being inconsiderate, strictly violating like the house rules you're trying to set. Um, I feel like that would just be a given if I'm staying anywhere. Like already she's on vacation, she's saving all this money from not going to a hotel or not going to an extended stay, whatever like the circumstances could be. So it's just like the least you could do is be fucking considerate to the people you're with. Also, 2 bedrooms, so small for all these people. Like, I think I would just go fucking stir crazy if I was forced to be in such a small space with so much of my family. And then there's 2 updates. So one update 8 days later. They finally left on August 5th, and I spent 2 days deep cleaning my house. It was the most disgusting that I've ever seen it. The bathroom smelled like pee. No idea how my 14M and uncle missed the toilet bowl that bad, but whatever. Everything is all clean now. I also muted and archived my aunt's numbers, and I haven't heard a word from her since they left. Not that I can, since I've already put countermeasures in place to thwart any communication from her. I have to repurchase some items that the kids broke, but that's a small price to pay for my peace, sanity, quiet, and the cleanliness of my home. If you got this far, thank you for reading just when I just needed a place to vent my frustrations, and please be mindful of the person hosting you when you're at their home. At their home. Sincerely, a tired host. Seriously, I was saying that, like, be fucking considerate, people. This shit is like, it irks me, right? Like it gets on my nerves when people don't follow rules, because it's just like the least you could do. And the second update 3 days later, I had no intentions. Hold on. I had no intentions of making another update, but here we go again. So 3 days ago, I was talking to my roomies, and they said that my aunt is spreading lies and telling people that I had used a key to open my bedroom door on the day that I walked in on them. Let me just remind you, my bedroom door does not lock, like at all. And it may appear to be locked, but it is not. Also, the lock on the door doesn't have a keyhole, so her saying that I used a key is kind of insane when the proof is literally on the door. She's also saying that I yelled at them, both her and my uncle, when I found them about to mingle juices on my bed. The only things that I told them on that day, July 15th, was not on my bed. And the night we came back, I said, just to let you know, the lock on that door does not work. And the next morning, July 16th, I spoke to my uncle, told him, Uncle Blank, never let that happen again. Now, her making up stories about the things that never happened was honestly my last straw because I hate lying. And I hate when others lie to/about me. So I've officially blocked and deleted her contact information. Anyways, that's all for now, and hopefully forever, he said. So I don't think she's the asshole. I would just tell your aunt as calmly as possible that no, she's not a child. She's just a rude house guest. So she either like treat you in your home with respect or be the adult she can is just leave. Because what the fuck? That's nasty. Ugh. Fucking on her bed and then getting entitled and upset because she can't do that or saying, oh, this or this. Ugh. That was fucking long, but not the asshole at all. That is a terrible aunt. Alright. Let's get okay, this is the last one. It's just titled Serious Issue. Serious issue. What would you do in this situation? Alright. I'm getting into the situation. I'm putting my situation situation spectacles on. So my sister and her husband, or my sister's husband was arrested for enticement of a minor. Sick! Great line opening. To me, this is a huge deal and incredibly serious, because it is. But my sister is standing by him, and what's even more shocking is that my mother is defending him too, acting like it's not that big of a deal. This dude's in the list. This dude's in the files. I'm feeling completely disconnected from the both of them right now. I'm horrified and I just don't understand how they can minimize something like this. I have no intention of maintaining any kind of relationship with him, at least for the foreseeable future. But now I'm wondering how to handle my relationships with my sister and my mom. Do I set hard boundaries, cut contact, try to keep peace for the sake of the family? Has anyone dealt with anything similar? What would you do? Top comment says, my ex-boyfriend was arrested for soliciting a minor online. I had guilt that maybe if we would have stayed together that he wouldn't have done the shit he did. Then I realized regardless if we were together, the same result would have just happened in a different way. For example, I could have been the one to catch him. The FBI could have arrested me too. He would have been around then my 3-year-old daughter, etc. Yuck. People defending him, in my opinion, are just as compliant as he is. I was gonna say, like, any sort of just excuses they're trying to make, any kind of reasoning is just as bad as him doing it himself. And enticement of a minor isn't, it's like solicitation, yeah. I don't know, it depends on the state. But it's people who knowingly coerce, entice, induce, or persuade anyone else to travel in foreign or interstate commerce or in any possession of territory. Oh my gosh. To solicit, yeah. Child enticement involves a person using online communications to solicit a child for illegal sexual activities or images. Most often, this is a felony. Yo, that's fucking insane. They're trying to defend, saying, guys, please, I swear she said she was 18 online. She said she was 18. You're weird. And it's even worse because it's like, it's in a cheating angle too. So it's like already you're cheating and it's like infidelity. And then it's with the minor? And it's with the fucking child? Kill him. Hang him. Dead. Never be seen again. Womp fucking womp. But anywho. Yo. Maybe well, I mean, this is all family drama. Can we get something that's not super bad? No, I actually do like this bad drama. It's yucky drama. Mom wants to talk about my dad. Ooh, that could go any certain way. Oh, this one's uber long. I desperately need advice. The person says, I desperately need advice. Before anything, sorry for the long story. I, 35F, and my sister, 40F, were best friends and very close for our entire life until shit hit the ground back in 2024. I moved in with her at the end of the year 2022 to pull her out of a situation, and I used to work overnight shifts, so we only interacted with each other a maximum around 4 hours a day. I started working from home around October 2023, and that's when things started to go ugly. Oof, so like more time together, more interaction, so easier for things to go awry. Just to start, I know she's a narcissistic person. I also recently learned that if you keep doing nice things for her your entire life, and the moment you miss out, once you're the bad person and you're excluded. But I was always able to get along with her, but then around January 2024, she started treating me like crap, taking her anger out on me and giving me dirty looks. Yelling at one point, and every time I tried to communicate with her, she completely brushed me off. And then around March, when things got really ugly, I just couldn't take it anymore. And I could not take the stress and the disrespect and the negative vibes. And even though I asked her a million times if I upset her with something or if there was any way for us to fix our relationship, she kept brushing me off every time. She's the problem. She's the problem. Fuck. Then she kept asking me if I want to move back to where I came from, and I told her no. She started making all these excuses about how uncomfortable I am and how not happy that I live with her and her kids. Sounds like she's projecting. She's trying to get you out because she wants out. So basically, she made a story in her mind that I'm not happy or comfortable with living with her and her kids, even though I assured her more than once that it's my choice and I'm okay. I'm okay with living with her. But she then kept asking me if I want to move out, to the point where I just gave up by the end of April. I had moved out and I felt like she kicked me out. And I told her that she turned my words around and told me that I'm just making up stories and that she never kicked me out, even though she did. Sometimes you don't have to tell someone flat out to get out. You could just treat them like garbage and they will not be able to take it anymore and leave. And right after that, I fell into deep depression to the point where I was not eating, and that made my other sisters furious and scared because I would go days without a single meal, and I would not eat when I went back to pass out. And I would eat when I went back to pass out. Okay, I guess the wording is a little bit weird. Anywho, fuck that sister. Fuck that bitch. She is the worst. Saying that, like, not being like, I didn't kick you out. I did not force you out. I just made the living conditions so terrible that the only thing you wanted to do was get out. That's getting kicked out. That's like deliberate action still. And I took a stupid financial step that I'm still paying for today. Uh-oh. Still hurt by what she did to me, to the point where I barely feel happiness, and my personality completely changed to an angry person. Like I'm not the same person who is nice and has positive energy. After all that, I'm trying to be a nice person by keeping in touch with her because she's my sister and we shared a lot of memories together. But recently, she's been treating me like I don't exist and leave my messages unread for days. And when she sees me, she acts like she misses me and she loves me. But I feel confused by her actions. My other sisters are telling me to just ignore her, and I truly do want to just cut her out of my life, but it seems that no one understands that I spent 30 years of my life with that person. We were very close, and she was my sister and friend, and she helped mom raising me at one point. I do feel like I suffered enough and I gave her so much throughout the years by supporting her emotionally or financially. And when I tell you that no one treated her well or took care of her as much as I did, I'm not exaggerating. Like no one gave a shit about her as much as I did. I wish I can recover from what she did to me, because she knows my fear in life is to be homeless, and when she kicked me out, like that I didn't have another place, like if I didn't have another place to live in, I could have been on the streets so easily. I feel like she stabbed me in the back and she's not understanding that. And she's in denial, telling me that she never kicked me out. How can I just not think about her or miss her, or want to do anything with her? I literally feel like I'm fighting for her to love me, and at the other side, that reason why I'm mentally stable now and I'm safe. It's because my other two sisters love me more than they love themselves. Keyword. Like love others more than loving yourself. Fuck. Because of the amount of love and care I receive from them, I feel okay. Like I don't know what I would have done without them. They are amazing. It's like understandable to like miss your sister in the relationship that you once had, but like you have to remind yourself at a point, like you shouldn't have to fight for somebody else's love no matter what kind of relationship that is. Sisters, brothers, lovers, uncles, sister, fish, pet, dog. But yeah. sorry that things didn't work out, but she definitely has issues of her own that she needs to work on, and she definitely should be not like should be given that space, but like maybe that gap in the connectivity or just closeness with that sister may help her realize it. Focus on yourself and focus on the people who do love you and support you, because holy shit, there's nothing more draining than putting yourself out all over for these things for people who just don't give a fuck or that couldn't be bothered to show an expression that they care. Because sometimes for people it really is that difficult. Like she would she would as the poster had said, like she loves herself more than she loves her sister, as in like the bad sister loves herself more and is a narcissist. Like I get being in sticky situations, but holy shit, she needs some sticky situations to humble her. And she has a kid. That poor kid. Seriously, dear lord. But yeah, anywho, that is just some Reddit family drama stories. If you enjoyed me reading these and the Minecraft gameplay behind me, which I also did play, but instead of like actively commentating on the Minecraft gameplay, I previously recorded it and I'm doing this voiceover secondly to provide more, I don't know, just interesting stories, family drama. We love to hear it. But yeah, anywho, thank you guys so much for being here. If you watched all the way through to the end, that's pretty fucking cool because I maybe got like 2 views. I have, I think, a whopping 60 subscribers. Woo! But yeah, thank you guys. I got 4 views. Let's go. Let's go, guys. I sound like Moist Critical now. But yeah, anywho, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, share. Um, what else you do on YouTube? But yeah, till next time. Peace.